Alright, this is how to play Cascadia Rolling Rivers. Your setup. You have 3 of each of the mountain, forest, river, wetlands, and prairies. And you have 2 phases. The first phase and the second phase. You have a total of 30 cards. You're going to make it 20 cards in your deck to play. You're going to play 20 turns. So you randomly take out 1 card from each set. Now those 10 cards are taken out. You take all of the 2s and you take all of the 1s and you shuffle them. Then you shuffle the 2s. Now that they're shuffled, remain on the bottom of the deck, and then you put the top 2. That's your deck. Then you got these completion cards. You put over here. They don't move throughout the whole game. So as you're playing the game, the first round, you do that. You try to get this, and then your cards slide over 1 for each round. You slide over, they don't go away. They slide over each round. And then when you have a full stack of 4, whenever you slide them off, the one on the right slides off. Everything slides over here and gets added. And it keeps going until you have your last card is played over here. And then when you're supposed to be drawing, but the draw deck is empty, you play this and try to score with the last 4 cards being shown. Then the game ends as soon as you can't draw anymore to fill. So this would be your setup. And then your first turn, you'd turn over the first card. And I'll put the draw deck off camera. So now this is an easy card that we could try to get. We need 1 bear, 1 fox, and 1 salmon to gain this card. And the purpose to gain this card is to fill this water tide deal. So you would put this 1 up here if you earned it. There's 4 different sheets you can play with. And this is the easiest one. So you start the game with your resources, and the first thing that you do on your turn is you roll your dice. When you start the game, you have your personal dice, and they're different ones. So you want to make sure one has a bear and one has a cross salmon and bird. So you roll your dice to try to add to your resources, which is this sheet here. You don't have to use your personal dice for resources. Let's say you really needed a elk right here. There's no elk showing in any of the dice. But you could use the 1 wild die to gain 1 elk. Generally, you can only take 1 type of animal resource. But this special die could allow you to take 2. Using this die, I could take 1 bird or I could take 1 salmon, plus the 3 bears that I gained. This special die makes it so one of your personal, the smaller die resource, you can gain twice. So I could get this and it counts as 2. So that would be 1, 2 with this die, 3, 4 bears that I collect with that. And then there's dice actions that you can use, but you can only use once per turn. If you roll this, they normally cost 1, 2, or 3 to do these different powers, but this will make it so it costs 1 less. So you could actually down convert for free. So I can use this nature token resource over here to use this power once per turn. So I got 3 bears that I can down convert using 1 of my tokens here. So with this, it would be free to down convert my 3 bears to an elk. So now I get 3 elks instead of 3 bears. You can up convert. So I got 3 birds. One makes it so it takes 1 less. So that would only cost 1. But normally it costs 2. I can upconvert the 3 birds into 3 foxes. For the cost of 3, I can choose 2 types and take all of them. You can't use a dice twice. You have to decide whether I want to use this wild for the bears or the hawks. So I could get 3 bears and 2 hawks, or 3 hawks and 2 bears using this, because that means I can get 2 different kinds of resources using that. Alright, so I want to gain this card. So to gain this card, I actually don't physically take it or anything. I just gain it on this, writing it down. So I have 1 bear resource, but now it would be down to 0. I have 1 fox, it would be down to 1, 0, and then I have 1 salmon. So it takes my resources down to gain that card, and then I would write a 1 right here, and then I would gain 2, so add 2 plus 2 to gain that, and then you get the bottom result here. There's a bonus on the bottom, and then on the top you do that before. So like this right here, I would roll my die and I get a bear. That's my bonus for getting that. And you can only gain 1 card per turn. So I would do that, and then I'd slide it over, and then I would add, let's say that was my first roll. So I would gain 3 bears, because it goes, and you can look at this too, and no, bears are harder to come by than salmon down here. So in probability, it's easier to get salmon, a lot easier to get salmon than it is to get bears. So in this one, I would want to collect 3 bears. So I collect 3 bears. So I have 1. So I got 4, and then I decided to collect a hawk. So now I got 2 with this die here, because it lets me collect 1 other die. And then I would roll my dice for the next turn. I don't know what I would be going for, but then let's see. Alright, so let's say I want to try getting this card again so I can finish this deal, and it gives me my bonus over here. So I'm going to go back. I have bears over here, but I don't have any foxes and I don't have any salmon. So this is my roll. So I could use the power of getting 2 types of resources for 3, but because I have this that I rolled, it'll cost only 2. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to bring down my tokens back down to 2. It's actually 3, but it's just counted from that. And then I'm going to get 2 resources. So I want the fox, and actually I'll get 2 foxes and a salmon. So I'm going to get 2 foxes and then a salmon. And that is what I'm doing with my dice on that turn. I'm going to get this again. I'm going to take my resources. So now the bears are going to be down to 3. There's 1 less from bear. Subtract a fox. Subtract salmon. Back down to there. And then now I get that as a 1 again. And then I'm going to circle this because I get 1 point for finishing these 2. For getting this card, I gain a token. If I had less than 2, then I would gain 2. But I have 2 right now, so I'm only going to gain 1. So we would keep doing this throughout the game and keep adding a card, roll the dice, gain the resources, and fill this sheet here. And that's what you're trying to maximize, is your sheet. So we're just going to randomly fill this out like we earned it, like we played the game. So we just filled this up it's only 2 points. It's not a very high score, but we open this up so we can use this star here to gain one of these. We could get 3 salmon, or we could get 2 salmon and a hawk, or all these different one of those sets of resources, or get 2 tokens, or just more score, more points. So just for whatever, we cross that one off and we gain 3 bills. So you just keep filling it up. As soon as you fill up one of these going across, then you can circle that for 3 points, and then you can cross this out, and then you can choose whichever wildlife you want. So let's add another elk for getting that. And to score, what you do is you add all these across. So that'd be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus the 3-point bonus. So that'd be 18 over here. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 there. And then 5 points for these, all of those bonus skills. And then 1, 2, 3 plus 5, 8. But we didn't finish that, so we don't get that bonus. So that would be 8. Actually, I'd get 1 point here. I forgot. All your resource divided by 5. So this would be 1, 2, 18, 19, 20, which is kind of rare because you're generally using them. But I have 20 over here. So that would be 20 divided by 5 is 4. And then you just add all of your score up. Alright, so 18 plus 16, 34, 39, 47, 52. And then that would be my score, and it's the game. In the back of the book, any different goals for the different sheets that you have sets. These ones here are the ones that come in the rolling rivers, but then these are expansions. So I don't have those. But then this tells you what cards to use over here. So like right now, I'm actually doing this. 3, 8, and then 10, and then 2. So that's my first goal right there, is number 1. And then yeah, all have different goals or whatever. So I'm trying to get 4 suns. So, and that's in a nutshell how that game works. I think it's pretty fun.